Sparkle and Chill. Today I'm going to kit up I'm Not Fat, I'm Fluffy by Randall Spangler. It is a 22 by 22, so it's the exact same size as the Blitzen that I just finished. And I finished that in pretty good time. I am so excited for this one too. I wanted to do this one sooner, but I was waiting till Christmas came, and things just get a little crazy with all of the stuff going on. So I cleared the desk so that I could get this kitted up. I'm going to move my bottles over here, so it's going to be covered up here while we work. But I've got my drills, and what I did was I'm going to move this. I've got the other ones in the box. I guess I can put that right back there till I get to that. What I'll be doing is when I finish getting all of these ones in, then I will I'll pause and bring the other ones into the dish. It's just going to make it a little bit more streamlined, a little less hectic. Here is the sticker. I don't think I filled out when I finished Blitzen. I'm going to have to look at my dates again. It has 46 colors. It has 1 AB and 4 fairy dusts. And so we're going to just, I'm going to use this container, and I'm going to, I think I'm just going to go ahead and put all of these on the jars right now, and then move to the colors, because that's just going to make it so much easier to, I keep them in the the order that they come in anyways. I like to do them 1, 2, 3, 4, but they don't pack them that way. So if I get these all on now, then as I go, they'll all be on there. I was going to do this last night. I finished the kit. I did the kit down of not of Rudolph. I keep wanting to call that one Rudolph, but it's Blitzen. I did that kit down, and then I was really tempted to get this kitted up last night. But the more I thought about it, I was like, I was already getting tired doing the other one, and I didn't want to make mistakes, which does happen when I'm tired. I start dropping things. I had tipped over 2 things of drills already, so I was like, no, I think we better just call it a night as far as this is concerned. So that's what I did. I hope you guys are having a good day. It's pouring down rain, so I'm not going to the library today because it's pouring down rain, and I just don't like driving when it's like that. And I have my package. I have a package arriving today, and I'm hoping, although I haven't been able to check the internet to see if my packet from my internet provider is coming today. I'm hoping, but I have a package coming today from our favorite place, Diamond Art Club. So I did order last week. So I needed to get enough points to make my points count, right? And I had set money aside for ordering. So I went ahead and ordered a couple kits last week, and that will get me to, I still have to find 200 points or 200 or 300 points to get to my $150 to spend. So I'm working on that. I gotta figure out how to do it. I'm gonna go to the library tomorrow, and when I do all my other stuff, I'm gonna figure out how to do some things that will earn me some points, because I don't really care to. I wish they gave you points when you order things on Amazon, because I think I would probably have an extra $50 and everything I've ordered of DAC stuff from there, but they don't give us points when we order there. I don't know why. You'd think they should give you automatic points for wherever you order from, but if they're, you know, but they don't. So that's one good reason to order them from there. But if I order the smaller things, usually Amazon will do deals every once in a while, right? Like 18% off or 20, you know, so you can get them for less money and still have free shipping and not have to spend $75 to get that. So that's one of the appeals to using, oops, I got 2 of them that time. Okay, 26, 27. And I do like ordering the smaller kits. They're my main ones that I like to do are smaller kits, but I do, like I said, I have several of the big ones now, and a lot of them are in squares, because what was I thinking? Actually, I do love the squares. I was looking at the ones I've done that are in squares, and they do, you know, the full coverage of the, you know, they're really much nicer to look at than the others, but they're just a little bit more tricky. They're a little bit more tricky to get lined up, and you can't do as much. I did do some multi-placing. I did learn to do some multi-placings. I watched, who was that person? I watched several people on square diamond painting before I did my first one, the little Spanish girl, and it was very helpful because they had very helpful hints and tips and, you know, ways to do things so that you know, don't get overwhelmed and that it just goes smoothly, because there is a little bit of a different technique to it, you know, than the rounds. The rounds are, but what I do love doing is when I have a square going, I always have a round going, because when you get to where you still want to diamond paint, but you don't want to do one more square drill, you have somewhere to go to work on something, but because you're still in the mood to diamond paint, but you're not, maybe you need a more relaxing, not so tedious, not so have to be so focused. I guess that's what it is with the squares. I have to be so focused. And part of the fun for me of diamond painting is not having to think too much. You just, you know, you're just kind of on autopilot. But you have to use a little more brain power. Not a lot. I think once I get used to it, it'll probably be just like doing the rounds. But with any skill, you build your muscles by doing, right? So I encourage anybody that's never done a square diamond painting, excuse me, got a frog in my throat there. If you've never done a square diamond painting, this isn't a square, this is a round. But if you've never done a square one, I challenge you to get either some mini gems, or, you know, mini kits that are in squares, because most of those mini ones are squares. Or look for a smaller square project to just do. And I think that you will find that by working on a few smaller projects, you'll work up to doing the bigger one. You know, you'll be able to work up to that amount. So what I'm going to do now, 738. So this is the thing, is you have to look for, when you do it this way, so I do them all in order of 1 to 46. Then what I do is I find the drills, I pull out the drill container, and this one is 738, so it's going to be number 17. And that's how I do mine. This is a larger bag, so I have a feeling I'm also going to need to have my baggies ready here to put some into baggies, and then I will, what did I do with those? I had some stickers just a few minutes ago. I know I had stickers just a minute ago. I may have moved them. Hold one moment, please. I think I moved them. I moved everything over. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And let's grab these and some dryer sheets. I may need dryer sheets. I maybe hadn't thought this through all the way. I thought I was completely ready, but most of these already have a dryer sheet in. Oh, they did, but I let them stay in there. Let me see. What did I do with those dryer sheets? I'm going to pause and find the dryer sheets. I'll be right. Dryer sheets have been found. I have some in here that are already cut, and then I have a piece right here that I can cut as needed if I run out. And we have stickers. So if this is too much to fit in there, and it might be because it's a bigger bag, then we will put them into a baggie and label it and then put it aside for I'm just going to have this available. I'm going to try to dump them into there, but sometimes if I have to put them into something else, then my trusty Kleenex box for, let's see if these fit without overfilling. Yeah, just as I suspected, it's probably going to be a bit more. So these are 7/38. So we will take a sticker. So far, not too bad in the static department. That's good. It's raining now, so that could go in our favor. 7/38. Let's make sure that's 7/0. Static generally comes because there's electricity in the air, and sometimes when it's raining, it's just not as bad because of the moisture in the air. Now, I might have been able to fill that all the way up, but this is the color that has the most, and there's actually another one of these right here because there was two of them. So these are going to kind of be on the side anyways because I'm not going to do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and this kind of worked really good. If I can pour it in there, then I can pour those into the baggies. Oh, I spoke too soon. There's a little static there. Not much. But what I'll do is, because the baggies tend to be very staticky, I'll go ahead and take some of these out. Stick this in the baggie. And that'll just keep it from these drive me nuts. How to open the bags. Okay, so that, I'm going to toss this in there. Ta-da! And yeah. There we go. And there's our extra drills. And then let's go with the next one is 3864. And this is also going to be, and 3864 is where is it? Three 3814 3826 3837, 3842, 3864. Okay. And I'm already going to write one of these because I know we're going to need one. 3864. Because this isn't going to all fit. This one's even fuller than the last one. Okay. I filled this one a little folder. 3864. Now I have extra bottles and I might just switch them into bottles once I get done, but for now this is a good way to do it. And I'm going to slip one of these in there just to preempt it. Okay. And the next one, 3866. So today is kind of a lazy day. I do need to get some housekeeping done, but I wanted to get this done first. Get it out of the way, and then I will be ready to go. I'm not going to the library because it's raining. I think I said that already, but that is why I decided. I got a lot done yesterday, so I can afford to not go today, which is good because all right. Oh, 3864. That was 386. Oh, 3866. $7.39. Oh, I missed a bottle. That's why everything was off a little. Okay, let's see. Okay, so 739. I was thinking about lost my train. I'm excited about the packages coming today. I hope they knock on the door. They never knock on the door. Sometimes they do. Well, I shouldn't say they never do. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. And it's just crazy when they don't. 739. Sometimes things sit out on the porch for a long time, so I find myself having to go open and close the door 20 times during the day to check and see if it arrived when I've got packages coming. I did a really great thing. I signed up for the package alerts because I don't have email, right? I can't, I don't just have my internet set up, and I used to just check the internet and it would tell me about approximately what time it would come. And this package wasn't supposed to come till the 20th from what I had looked at yesterday. But I got a text alert today that it's out for delivery, which could mean it comes at 7 o'clock. For some reason, I'm at the tail end of everybody's deliveries. It doesn't matter if I'm on Amazon or what. They almost always come either late in the day or evening. I'm not quite sure why that is, but it is. Okay, the next color is 739. Wait a minute, I just did 739. That was 739, right? That was 738, and I put it in, 738. And 739. Okay, so there's 2 bags of 739. Good to know. Okay. 738, 39, 311. It's important. This is really nice because you can't go back and check. These look to have some static in them. I'm going to put one of these in the jar. And probably one right into here too. This one's a big bag too, so it's probably not all going to fit. And I'm not going to fill it completely full. I'm going to stick this inside. Well, did you see that? See, they were all sticking to the bag. And now they're a little more. And I didn't, oh man. Okay folks, this is real life. Clumsy Kimberly. And a ton went on the floor. So I'm going to get the ones up here and then I'll pause and get the ones on the floor because they're going to take a little bit of doing to get to them. What I do when I drop them on the floor is I use one of these boats and I scrape them up into a pile and then they pick up really easily on the carpet type. I have a low nap carpet just underneath my, I should grab a tray. I should be doing this. Oh, I was doing it over a tray, but okay. Okay, folks. I should have a tray out, but I wanted to use my canvas as a bit of a tray. Now this works really good. Works better on the floor, I guess. Haven't. Yeah, it works on the. Oh, I wonder. Sometimes I get a good idea. Whoa. All right, so I'm gonna get these drills in. And I'm gonna pause and I'll be right back. I'm gonna get the ones off the floor. Okay, we're back. And here's what I was able to get up off the floor. Oh gosh, let's see. A little bit of random dirt. And a couple other colors as well. So I'm gonna take take the ones that are not part of it. See, this is all the fun of diamond painting. Oh goodness. There's some, I just vacuumed under the desk the other day too, but that was a lot that spilled. And I think these are going to go into baggy. What was this color? 311. Okay. So we're gonna go. Three, one, one. See, it wouldn't be exciting if I didn't spill at least once in a while. Oh my gosh. It's my life. That's what happens. And then while I was on pause, I went ahead and cut up that little bit of dryer sheet so that I would be able to stick some in these, because it is much better to have. Okay. And we'll go ahead and just empty that down there. All right. And into the baggie. All right. Crisis averted. I think I'm going to start doing it right over this right now. Okay. All right. Next color is 803. Now I can already see that there's static in here. I thought we were going to get away with not so much static because of the rain, but I don't think so. Another thing that works if you're dealing with a lot of static is to have a humidifier on while you're working. That'll help put some moisture in the air. But I don't have one of those. I used to have one, but I don't have one. I should invest in one. But as of right now, I don't have one. Okay. Those are not all going to fit. Oh, maybe these will all fit. Let's see. Let's put this back in here. Cucaracha. Okay. Yeah, these are all going to fit in there. It's going to be a tight fit, but they're all going to fit in there. Put a hitchhiker in there. Okay. A little bit of static in there. And this trick has changed my life. Little dryer bags, or dryer, what you call it. And then it's going to set it on top, and that'll help. Okay, let's find the next one is 841. Well, that one fell on the floor. We'll get it later. Is this all going to fit? I think it will. It's going to be up top. Talk about up to the top. Not quite. I could have gotten a little bit more in there. 24. Next, Z437. Okay. Okay, these are, see how they all stick in there? Perform a magic trick. Okay, and some fell in the tray. Okay. Okay. That's 4. All right. So, anybody read any good books lately? I didn't listen to mine last night. I went to bed so late again. Well, it wasn't actually so late. I think it just felt like it was really late. I finished my kit down. Oh, what color is this? 824. I almost just dumped that in there with nothing in there. With no cup to catch it. That would have been funny. At least it's in the thing. It wouldn't have been too big of a disaster, but still. I knew this one was gonna all go in. I am gonna cut a little piece of this for that one too. Cut those pieces kind of big. $23 and 6001. I want to go, so Five Below opened not far from me. It's like a 5-minute drive, I think, 5-10 minutes maybe if traffic. We get really bad traffic here, but it's not very far. It's a few miles away. And so I'm excited about that. I checked it out with the day of the opening day, and it was a madhouse. I mean, crazy madhouse. There were so many people there, and they weren't like doing like grand opening major sales or anything, which surprised me. I thought, when a new store opens, they usually give deep discounts their first couple days, as a grand opening thing. They didn't really. But it was so full, I really didn't look very long. I kind of went in and went right back out because it was. I started looking around, and then it was just way too many people. I'm not a people person at the store. I like not so many people. So I left because I wasn't going to wait. But it's been a few weeks now, so I think it opened it like November 7th, I think. So maybe I'll go check that out. It's already 2:30, so it won't happen today, and it's raining, but maybe Friday. This is 580. I didn't look for the thing before. Sorry, 580. I like it when I know that they're all gonna fit. Makes it much easier. I don't have to write new numbers or any of that, but I am gonna have to put. I thought to get these ready. Uh-oh. Those were coming out somehow. I think that's. Oh, there's a lot that are still stubbornly sticking to the sides. So you guys getting excited for Christmas if you got little ones? I miss having little ones around at Christmas time. I love the excitement that it brings to everything. You get older and there's no kids around. It's not really as exciting as it is with kids that are expectant and presents and all of the waiting for Christmas. I remember my mom, when I was a kid, putting presents under the tree, and how we'd like go over to, you know, shake them and whatnot, just to see what was in them. One year, my curiosity got the best of me. I think I was about 11, and I unwrapped a couple of my gifts before Christmas and then wrapped them back up, you know, just carefully did it because my mom didn't use a lot of tape. And it really spoiled it for me. I never did it again because I didn't want to know. You want to be surprised at Christmas, you know. So kids will do stuff like that. I had another friend who told me about when they were kids. I remember hearing this story. When they were kids, their parents would hide the neighbor kids' toys in their closet because their kids were nosy. And so they always thought they were getting presents they weren't getting because they would nose around and find the neighbor kids' gifts. I thought that was funny. That would be a rude awakening because most of our neighbors got better presents than we did. We didn't get, oh gosh, what number was that? There's a bunch in there. That was, I don't know which one it was. What were we on? It's that green one. What did we just do? It wasn't that one. They were green. You're probably all screaming at me. It was this number. I'm not seeing a green one. That I know is, that's not even. I thought I was in this. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside in this little thing until I figure out which ones they were. I know it'll come to me. I'll figure it out. Story of my life, people. I'll figure it out. But let's keep going. All right. We want, oh, still one more. Z3865. I know. There's still another one. Okay. I know. I'm probably driving you all crazy. I am going to try to get them to all go in and then put a static thing in the, yeah, baby. But they are sticking to the edge, so let's get one of these little puppies in there. This is 46. And I didn't check the number again. 920. 920. Um, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30. Okay, now let's look for ooh, isn't that a pretty purple? Z208. I love purple. Purple's my favorite color. Has been for years. So when I was a teenager and started, going shopping for myself, with my girlfriends, going to the mall and buying our school clothes, because we used our own money. My mom stopped buying our school clothes as soon as we started earning our own money. And so my girlfriends and I would go shopping, and I'd find great outfits, you know how it was when you were a kid and you got to go shopping. And I had a couple different friends that we used to go together to buy our clothes, or just, shopping at the mall frequently. And I came home with like 3 different shirts that had purple in them. And by the time, I think my freshman year, the vast majority of my tops were some shade of purple. And I had other things too, but the vast majority of my wardrobe was purple. And I didn't even realize I was doing it. But my mom, I think it was my sophomore year, she goes, if you come home with one more piece of purple clothing, I'm going to throw it away. And I'm like, what? And then it was like, oh, she's like, everything you own is purple. And honestly, I didn't see a problem with it. I'm the one that had to wear it, and I liked it, But I kind of got away from buying. I had a really pretty purple ski jacket. Oh, I loved it. But I paid for all of it with my own money. So really, she was at the point where she couldn't really tell us what to buy because she wasn't paying for it, right? And she didn't go with us when we went shopping. She worked all the time. So, I think she was really happy that we, worked for our money. And all through high school, I babysat for a family that lived next door to us. I babysat for 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, while the mom was at work. So I was earning, and this is kind of a whole $80 a week, which back then was a lot of money. It wasn't as much as if I had, say, gotten a regular job that was making $3 something an hour. I think it was $3.35 an hour back then. But I was working for this family, and I was enjoying myself. I loved my job. And so because of that, I was just like, well, I earned my money, and I bought the clothes that I wanted to buy. And I bought this really cool, I think it was 8th grade that I bought that jacket, and I wore it for a couple of years. I wasn't one of those people that had to have a new coat just because it was a new year. If I had one that still worked, I wore it because, we weren't a rich family, and I earned my money, and I had to make my money count. And I spent a vast amount of my money on clothing back then. You'd go to the mall with your friends, you'd come out back with a new outfit or a new pair of jeans or I loved going and buying jeans at the mall. My mom, they're so expensive. Why are you buying them at the mall? Because back then, even, and you got to think about how long it took me. So I made $80 a week, 10 hours a day, and I bought a $40 pair of jeans. And my mom was, "What are you doing? You had to work half a week just to get those jeans," which is true. When I started learning about, you know, how much the dollar was really worth, that was 28, and there's still some in the bottom here. Some of them fell out and stuck to the side. So, you know, once you learn how much you were actually spending to get your clothing, then I kind of didn't get the ones that were quite as expensive. But I hadn't been able to buy clothes like that, you know, when my mom bought them. We went to Kmart or Fred Meyer's and got the cheapest thing on the rack. So it was fun when I finally had my own money and I could make my own decisions, but I wasn't making great decisions with money then. But I just remember those were fun days, going to the mall and coming back. And I bought a jean jacket that I wore which I think I got it my freshman year, and I was still wearing it after I graduated. It was the best purchase I think I ever made. And I don't remember what it cost, but I do remember it was one of those jean jackets with a little bit of a puffy shoulder, and then the inside was lined with like the plaid flannel. It was so warm because it was lined well, and it was a jean jacket, and it was so cool. Or so I thought. But I wore that thing for many years after high school. It really was a very good purchase because, you know, it was quality. It didn't, when it finally wore out, I was really sad. I was like, I can't wear this anymore. It's dying. So that was really sad when I had to realize that I couldn't wear it anymore. Okay. That, and I had a you guys remember those of you that were young enough to remember in the 70s when leather jackets were really popular. My sister got a really cool leather jacket, and I was so jealous. And I wanted one so bad. And my mom bought me this. I was in 6th grade. And my sister's a few years older than me, so she was 3 grades ahead of me. So her having a leather jacket made sense, but me having one didn't. My mom, trying to appease my want for a jacket, bought me this pleather blue leather jacket. And I liked it. I mean, but I was 11, so what did I know? But the coolest one was when the satin jackets came out. And I wanted one so bad, and I ended up, my mom never could, I wanted a cool color. And my mom bought me one, but she always bought me these off colors, and my thought process, it was probably on the clearance rack. And it was something that she knew I wanted, but it wasn't going to be, you know, I was getting what was on the clearance rack. That was just clearly what was happening. And I got this blue pleather jacket. I wore it, but it wasn't as cool as I wanted it to be. It wasn't quite my sister's. She had a really nice jacket. We live in Oregon, so getting a suede jacket is kind of stupid because you can't wear them most of the year or they'll get ruined. There's just, I mean, our weather is just 350. Our weather, you know, you get a suede jacket wet and it's done, you know, or leather jackets, you know, like the bomber jackets that came out in the 80s. Those were really cool, but they were, you couldn't really wear them much because they get rained on, they're toast. So But I didn't stop you from wanting one. Might stopped you from getting one, but it didn't stop you from wanting one. My mom was very practical. You can't get that. You won't be able to wear it half the time you need a jacket. More than half. Because back then it rained even more than it does now. I have this memory of walking to school with my friend. And we had to walk down 82nd Avenue to get to our school. And there was two schools, the elementary school or middle school, and then the high school. And there was a fence up against it, so you couldn't get away from the puddles that were in the road that the cars were driving into, splattering the water up onto you, because there was nowhere to go. So you'd like throw yourself into the fence hoping you'd get away from it, but really you just got wet. I remember getting to school and being so glad that I had PE for first period, because I could go in, go to PE, shower, and get ready for school again, you know. I mean, my hair would be a mess, but at least I had dry clothes, because I always just brought a bag of clothes, knowing on those days I was going to get drenched on the way to school. We lived far enough that we should have, I mean, where I had lived before, we rode a bus, and the school was much closer than the school was in this school district, and we walked quite a ways. And that's just the way it was. Kids today don't know how easy they got it. Either mom and dad drive them or they take the bus. I don't hardly ever see kids walking to school anymore. Okay. Alrighty, let's go. 310. Look at the tiny amount of 310s we have here. The tiniest amount. But walking to school wasn't so bad. I walked when I went to that elementary school. It was on the way there. And then once we got to high school, or the junior high, when we got to high school, it was just a little bit further that we had to go. I think it was Beth that was with me when we walked and got the rain all over us. Gosh, that was crazy. Okay, I'll move that around in there. There are very few of these, so we don't want to lose them. I do have extras of these, though. Should I need a couple? I've got them. That's why I started saving them, because last time I had one that had just a small amount of 310s. There wasn't enough of them. Didn't I just have... What did I do with that? Oh. $8.23. Cut these kind of big. I love doing that. I will go from sticking to the sides to not. Little things amuse me. Do you remember when you used to go to the bank machine and it would just like shoot the money out at you? That used to thrill me so much. The little things. $7.29. $7.29. Where are you? There. I'm sticking it in there now as caution, 301. I can't wait to get started on this, but I'm waiting until December 1st because I've got, or January 1st, because I've got other stuff that I really want to get done. I haven't started. I was going to start on the tree last night and I got tired. And I just went to bed. Okay. I didn't cut these very good. Okay. Oops, I forgot to check for the color. 356. 356, where are you? Okay, did they all come out? They did. A couple of them into this, to the tray. Not many, but a couple. Okay. $4.98. $4.98. Hello. It must have been in the crinkle part of the, been squished around the corner in the back in the container when it was going. Yeah, there's some static in this one. Big time. Let's just get it to all fall in there and then we can. Okay, all of those are out. There's a hitchhiker in there. 743. It's not a Z. 743. $9.32. Oh, so, sorry, I got a little quiet there. I get concentrating and I forget to talk. I'm not used to having to talk for so long. What was I? Oh, I do want to put one of these in there. I'm just preemptively putting them in here because they could get staticky later and I don't really want to deal with it. Some of them are, some of them aren't. $3.814. 3814 3842. Okay. Z976. So, one year for Christmas, my mom and her boyfriend bought, I don't remember, I don't know which one of them actually bought it, probably my mom. But they brought all 4 of us kids. Anyways, they bought transistor radios for each of us. This was back in the 70s when a little pocket radio was pretty cool. And they'd gotten one for each of us. But when it came time to unwrap them, my mom was one of these people that liked to hide presents in the actual tree boughs. You know, she'd like put them, set them up in the branches. Well, somehow she'd put mine into a branch. And when it came time to open those ones, they're all open to them and my mom couldn't find mine. And so she thought, well, we'll find it later. Or she thought it disappeared. She wasn't sure. I don't think she knew what happened, but I know they were kind of, I couldn't believe I was the youngest at that time. And so I just figured it was because they got them for the older kids and they didn't get them for me. But so I didn't get mine on Christmas. And when we were taking down the tree, we found it. My mom's like, "Oh, Kimberly, we found your present. I knew there was one for you." They didn't tell me that because they weren't sure if it got lost or something. So they didn't tell me that I had it. But I remember my mom looking for it, looking all over for something, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And then when we took the tree down, there it was. My little red transistor radio. My sister had a white one. I had a red one. And the boys had blue and green. It was one of my favorite things. I would, and I loved country music, which back then wasn't cool, but I liked it. I loved Kenny Rogers. My mom was a country music fan, and so I liked the same music. I liked Kenny Rogers, and John Denver was real popular back then, and so I would put mine on the country station and listen to the music I liked. And my sister was always like, "Turn it to something good." This is good. I loved my country music. What was your favorite music when you were a kid? I mean, and I still kind of like it now. It's different than it was now. Now it's more, country music now is more pop music than it is country music. I mean, but it's still the same in that it's always some sad song about some dude and a girl, you know, that did him wrong, or she did him wrong, or, you know, something like that. Always. Oh, great. I spilled a good number of these. And, you know, the songs I like, though, were still popular in the 80s and 90s on the country stations, like Kenny Rogers and John Denver. They never went bad. Everybody always loved loves both of those people. If they like country music, both of those are generally pretty safe. That, and I loved listening to my mom's albums because she had really good ones. She had, do you guys remember Band on the Run? I don't know if that was the actual name of the band or if that was just a song on one of their albums. But my mom had the album Band on the Run, and I probably had it memorized. I did have the songs memorized. I could sing right along with them. At 10 and 11 years old. That and Tanya Tucker. I loved Tanya Tucker. Okay, 471. I lost my train there. Could you tell? 471. And how much static is in there. Bye-bye, static. Isn't that amazing? That's like magic. Okay. There's too many drills. 640. 640. I found my couch last night. People, how did you lose it? It was buried under laundry. Oh, I know everybody has that problem once in a while. I just kept, and it wasn't that it wasn't folded because I don't really fold mine and put it away. I like, when it comes out of the dryer, I'll shake them out and then lay them flat on the top part of the couch and then put them away. And I just was lazy. And I was literally just coming out to the living room and picking out shirts. Oh gosh, 318. So I finally last night put everything away. I was like, I really need to, I had started doing more laundry. I'm like, I really should get this put away. But nobody comes over very often, so I was like, eh. But it makes me have to sit in my chair, and I kind of want to lay down and watch TV sometimes, so. And I only have the one TV in the bedroom, or in the living room, not in the bedroom. I used to have one in the bedroom too, but when I moved here, this apartment is so small, I was like, I'm not going to take 2 TVs. And I went down to just one TV. I gave away the other one because I really didn't need it. But I do miss watching TV in bed at night. If I watch it in the living room on the couch, I generally will fall asleep and then wake up in the middle of the night and have to go to bed. So I prefer if I just go to bed and watch it in the bedroom, but there's no place for a TV in the bedroom. There's just not enough room. every once in a while, I would set up the computer and watch a Netflix in the bedroom. Or do it on my tablet. But I got rid of Netflix when I lost my job. No extras. No extra bills. Just the basics until I get a job. 801. All those extras go away when you're not working. And there's nothing good on regular TV, but I was happy that it's this time of year because I pulled out a lot of my Christmas movies that I like to watch around Christmas time, like While You Were Sleeping and what's the other one? While You Were Sleeping, Home for the Holidays. That is one of my all-time favorites. You guys love that movie. It's the dysfunctional family at Thanksgiving, and then I love it. Holly Hunter, I always liked her in movies. And then I was thinking, I got out some other movies. 3752. I'm going to watch Ever After this week. 3752. And so there's just various different movies that I have on, on DVD. And I've had them for years, and some of them just are more, I want to get that, I rented, a few years ago, I rented that Bad Mom Christmas. That was hysterical. But I noticed when I was at the library, so I'm going to check. I can check out videos at the library, DVDs. And I vaguely remember doing that years ago. But I haven't really been to the library till I needed to start using the internet. Oh, it's 9:32. 9:36. That one was already full. Like, wait a minute here. So I think I'm going to peruse those videos when I go next time. And just kind of see what they got. $9.36. One. $6014. For some reason I was seeing 601. There's no 601. The 6000 series, for those of you guys that don't know, are colors that Diamond Art Club makes their own colors because they do all of their diamonds in-house. When they need a color that more suits the picture, they can actually make that into a color. And it's pretty great. The rest of them are normal DMC code, but when they run into, some of these, one of these was in the diamonds and got those diamonds all over. I'm going to figure out what diamonds these are. I'll figure it out when I get done. It's a tan color. Might be that. I think it is that. I got a bunch on the I must have. Okay, I think, yeah, that is the right color, even good. Yay, I found that pretty quickly. Okay. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I've got like 6 more colors to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 colors more. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video now because you guys have probably tired of hearing me meander on. And then the next thing you'll see about this painting is when we're actually working on the painting. Again, what I'm kidding up is I'm not fat, I'm fluffy. Is she not cute? Blue eyes. All right. Talk to you soon. Like, subscribe, all the things. Share with your friends. Have a great day. Bye now.